Lyrics of the Lost.
Hello and welcome to episode... here we go. Episode 33.
Okay.
33. Two birds flying away from you, but flying down on one side a bit because their right wings are a bit sore and weak.
Ooh.
33.
Bingo.
This is Lyrics of the Lost, single-handedly keeping the lost language of Bingo Patter alive. And just like Bingo, I'm now going to randomly drop my finger down here on any decade in the history of smooth music. And what do you know? It's the 80s again.
Goodness me. We haven't done the 80s for...
Well, we never left.
Well, yes.
Because episode 33 is this.
Who's gonna drive you home tonight?
Drive by the Cars, 1984. Written by Rick Ocasek, but sung by the bass player Benjamin Orr, some other guy.
Mm.
No,
Yes.
Benjamin Orr. That's his last name.
Is it?
Or is it?
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Or is it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's Ocasek, is it? Because I always say Ocasek like he's Irish. Oh, I'm Rick Ocasek. But it's...
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I did listen to one interview with him on YouTube, on an American interview, and she said it like that. So I'm
Okay.
happy with that.
We'll go with Ocasek.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's American too. He's from Boston. Yes.
And Benjamin Orr, because he's a pirate.
Oh, that's right. That's where your R's coming from.
Yes.
I thought we were just talking about Rick Ocasek, but you're going Benjamin Orr. Orr.
Yeah. No.
Okay. I do remember this band, The Cars, but I did have to go back and check if all the songs by The Cars were about cars, or at least had titles about cars, like this one does.
Yeah.
Turns out no.
No. I was actually a pretty big fan of the Cars around this time.
Yeah.
Um.
You were young and impressionable.
Yeah, I went as far as getting a cassette copy of the album this song came off from a friend at school. So, quite committed.
Copied on a sort of tape-to-tape, sort of two stereos facing each other, or?
Probably, yes. No, I think he might have actually had what young people now refer to as the vinyl.
Oh, okay.
Or what we called the record.
Nice.
So, yeah, I like the Cars. The things that attracted me to the Cars were things like their upbeat, sort of new wavy, spiky songs, the witty, sometimes quite surreal
music videos.
Lyrics. They're very sort of colourful, quirky music videos, and Rick Ocasek's sort of deadpan vocal stylings, and the combination of 80s synths with Elliot Easton's lead guitar solos that fit perfectly into the songs.
Oh.
And of course, Drive has none of these things.
It is quite different to the other songs in their
Yes.
their oeuvre.
Yes.
But, no less popular for that.
No.
But, the Cars music is very much often not about cars. In fact, I think only this one song mentions driving. But could all of their songs be sung to a car? Perhaps. Men can certainly feel great affection for their cars. So do you ever look with some concern at your car and ask it, who's going to drive you home tonight?
You might do that if you were in a car dealership. You're looking at a car that you loved, you liked the look of, and you're thinking, who's going to drive you home tonight? Is it me?
As in, if you don't move fast on this deal.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Yeah, well, you could do that. I mean, I don't ask my car that because I'm the only one who drives it. But I also don't ask my car questions because it's an inanimate object. Except it is animated when it's going.
Wow, you drive an animated car.
It's very animated.
Wow.
It's got bits that move all over the place, round and round, mostly. So it's better to say maybe it's a non-sentient machine, at least for now. But with AI going into everything, soon your car probably will consider who's going to drive me home tonight, and then it'll pre-adjust the seat position and mirrors according to the known preferences of the likely driver. That's the world we live in.
I think that already happens in certain cars. You can have preset, like,
yeah,
user
preset
accounts.
Position, memory positions, yes. Yeah,
you've got to log into the car. But anyway, Teslas can drive themselves home, can't they?
Oh, jeez, that's quite true.
Yeah.
But in the context of this song and in the parlance of our time, when you ask who's going to drive you home, you generally ask that to another person, not to a car. And you're really asking who's going to drive a vehicle containing that person, because you can't drive people themselves directly, except in limited circumstances where they have agreed to give you a piggyback ride.
Yeah.
Even then, though, that person who's giving you the piggyback ride, that person still decides where you're going, and therefore they're still the ones driving you, unless they agree to respond to your verbal commands.
Sure. But you can drive somebody crazy. You can annoy them so much that you're driving them to want to go home.
Well, you're getting all metaphorical now. And,
yes. Who's going to drive you away tonight?
Yes, yeah. But by and large, you don't drive people themselves. And I'm not saying you couldn't develop a control system to drive even the most disagreeable people, perhaps via some sort of harness and whips and spurs. But exploring this any further is really beyond the scope of this podcast. So I'll move on. And as I often say, let's go
to the lyrics.
To the lyrics. That's right. That was a bit low energy there, Dave.
I was just being intimate. It's a kind of a low energy song. I didn't want to get too excited.
You're right. It is a sad song.
Yes.
This song, Drive, it's a bit of a downer.
Indeed.
It asks a lot of questions to the listener. 12 questions, in fact.
Oh, I'm glad you counted them. That's
oh, yes.
Very commendable.
Some of them are the same question.
Well, that's true.
Yep.
But every line except one kind of couplet in the, do you call it a chorus? I don't know, the sort of hook section.
Yeah.
Everything's a question apart from that.
True. It's a lot like life. But yeah, it seems to ask questions about your support network. Have you got someone who'll drive you home, who's going to listen to you, who's going to tell you things, who's going to pick you up, and on and on? Have you got the people within your support network to do these things for you? Because apparently you can't do much for yourself, it seems, according to this song. This is not so much don't worry, be happy. It's more please worry about everything.
Yeah, I guess it depends what kind of a state you're in. I think most people seem to agree that this song is kind of like an intervention in song form. Somebody watching somebody in a kind of a spiral of self-destructive behaviour. Maybe they're addicted to something. Maybe they've got mental health issues.
Yes.
Certainly we'll get onto this later, but certainly the music video makes that point quite unsubtly.
Oh, yeah. I guess a lot depends on whether you consider that Rick's song is being sung to you, the listener, attempting to provoke uncertainty and worry in your life. And even if you're not worried about anything, Rick will even try to make you worry about that too.
You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong.
Well, true, yes.
You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. Excuse me for not worrying about stuff, Rick. But, yeah, like you say, Rick's maybe not singing to us as the listener. Rick might be even addressing his own fears and anxieties.
Could be.
As an established pop star who can't do anything for himself anymore. Like it's a little voice inside his own head asking these questions because he's become too spoiled, or maybe he doesn't really trust the people around him who might be just attached to his fame and riches. So maybe he doesn't really have anyone to turn to. Or maybe due to his fame and popularity, he's worried about being mobbed by fans all the time. Yeah. So he needs someone to swoop by and pick him up, drive him home, listen to him like a normal person and not a fan.
Mind you, perhaps ironically, his fame and fortune would have increased exponentially after the release of this song.
Yes, so he's just causing his own problems.
Yeah.
But he's trying to keep it real, maybe.
Could be. But then he's hiding behind somebody else singing it, so...
Well, yeah, that's true.
Has he written the song for Benjamin to sing to him?
Ooh, hadn't considered that.
Neither did I until just then.
That's good. You're thinking on your feet. That's good. Good to see. I have seen a acoustic version of this song where Rick does sing it, but that might have been done after Benjamin died, perhaps. Who knows?
I think so. I think he didn't. I think he only started singing it after he died, because the Cars had split up, because, well, at least
once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah. Because this was their most successful period, I think.
Yeah.
It sort of drove a wedge between them. Very sad.
Oh, yeah. Well, success can do that to you.
Yeah.
You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong.
And as it turned out, that's correct.
But, leaving some of these possibilities to one side and reading through the lyrics, I mostly imagine Rick singing this to his girlfriend.
Yes.
Specifically when they're out at a party. She's probably much younger than him. Maybe, 21 years younger than him. Like in the music video that features a young Czech model who later became Rick's third wife. And she is 21 years younger than him. So kind of like reality, I'm thinking. I'm imagining.
Yeah. Future reality.
I'm imagining some reality here. And I imagine further that she's got lots of young friends and they have lots of parties to go to. But maybe Rick's a bit tired of all that at his age and he just wants to stay at home on the couch.
Right. Well, why doesn't he just come and pick her up? It's obviously got nothing better to do.
Well, yeah, that's a solid point. Except
selfish.
As an inappropriately older partner, he's maybe a bit insecure and worried about her talking to younger men, and that's why he would go along with her to this party.
Oh, he's going with her, right? Okay.
Yeah. He's got to go along, try and pretend to be young and have a good time.
Right. He'd rather be at home watching the darts, but he's going to the party with her.
Watching the darts, maybe playing a bit of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Probably likes a bit of Super Mario Smash Party, I think.
That would have been ultra modern in 1984.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, they did have the beginnings of Mario. I think Donkey Kong had come out maybe a couple of years before then. So Mario was alive and established.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And you could play, multiplayer with up to one other player in the arcade. But it wasn't very interactive.
Right.
At that stage.
But I can't see him going to the arcade. He's probably at home with his Commodore 64, right?
Well, that's where he might meet a lot of young ladies.
Okay. That's where he gets his wives.
Yes, but leaving the issue of 1980s video games to one side, yeah, he might go along to the party just to, keep an eye on her. But pretty soon he'll have had enough and he wants them to go home again. But she's having a great time, I imagine, and wants them to stay. So this is where he would take her aside and sing these questions to her to sort of set her straight.
Who's gonna tell you when it's too late?
Who's going to tell you when it's too late? That's me, babe. I'm going to tell you. It is getting too late. You never know when enough is enough and it's time to go home. That time is now.
The darts is on.
Yeah, the darts are on in 20 minutes. And the snooker? Go.
Who's gonna tell you things aren't so great?
Who's going to tell you things aren't so great? Me again, honey. I'm telling you I'm not having a good time. Things ain't so great here, and I want to get back home to my comfy couch in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, she wants to stay longer, of course, with her silly little friends. She tries to ignore him and mingles on, leaving him to follow and pester her with,
You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong.
you can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. And then inevitably, he starts to get a little threatening and starts gaslighting her about personal safety.
Who's gonna drive you home tonight?
Who's going to drive you home tonight? Because I'm about to ditch you here. And what will you do? Well, let me tell you, here in the second verse.
Who's gonna pick you up when you fall?
Who's going to pick you up when you fall? See, you're going to fall and get hurt, or worse, if I'm not with you.
Well, she's probably wearing quite high heels, which is not sensible.
Probably. I mean, appropriate for a party, but it's bad OH&S.
Yeah.
Or WHS, as it's now called.
Yeah.
Workplace Health and Safety. But this isn't a workplace. There should be other health and safety type systems.
PHS, Party Health and Safety.
PHS, Party Health and Safety. Lovely.
Who's gonna hang it up when you call?
Who's going to hang it up when you call? So yeah, after you're hurt, you're going to call me at home begging for help, and I'm just going to hang up on you because you've been so selfish.
Who's gonna pay attention to your dreams?
Who's going to pay attention to your dreams? See, at least I listen when you wake up and tell me your weird dreams, like how you were climbing Mount Everest on your teeth, and you saw that snake wearing a high-vis vest, and your little brother sat nearby on a rock made of cheese and was pulling the heads off your Barbie dolls. Your friends aren't going to sit there and listen to all that like I do, right?
Yeah, who's gonna plug their ears when you scream?
And who's going to plug their ears when you scream? See, again, something bad's going to happen, but I'll be at home, fingers in my ears, going, la, 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 can't hear you screaming, la, 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 la.
Who's gonna hold it down when you shake?
Who's going to hold you down when you shake? Oh dear, someone's holding you down now while you shake with fear, presumably.
Who's gonna come around when you break?
Who's going to come around when you break? See, you're all broken now. I'm not coming around to be with a busted up person. What have you done, you stupid girl?
Whoa.
All because you wouldn't come home when I wanted to go. So it all seems, like toxic, coercive man behavior, as we've come to expect.
Well, I mean, he's acting a bit more like a dad than a boyfriend, to be honest.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know.
Given the age difference.
Yeah.
She might even call him daddy. Who knows?
Ooh.
One can only speculate.
One doesn't need to.
You don't have to. But having said that,
yes,
it could also be that this song takes place after Rick's girlfriend has already left him, and that leaves him alone and sad in this big empty house, wistfully wondering about who's going to do all these things for her now, things that he used to do for her. Could be a sad song because he feels sad for himself, or sad with worry for her well-being. Who knows?
Yeah, all the things he used to do, like plug his ears so he didn't have to listen to her.
Yeah, well, if the alternative is getting really angry at her for screaming a lot, and she might be screaming in anger at him, maybe, who knows? Or maybe a lot of her speaking just sounds like screaming, and she's got one of those irritating voices.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's frustrated with him. He's quite old, so, maybe...
She's got to scream at him to be heard. Yeah.
There's that. Maybe he's dribbled a bit of wee on the toilet floor again and she's screaming at him.
Yeah. Probably squeezed the toothpaste tube from the wrong end.
Whoa.
So many lines you could cross.
Yeah.
But many of the questions asked in this song do feel a bit infantilizing.
Oh, yes.
They're things that, as adults, we usually don't have to worry about, even if Rick is singing them to us as his inappropriately young partner. You're probably still old enough to pick yourself up if you fall down, drive yourself home or get public transport. Not big problems. But in our investigations, Dave, we've stumbled upon a trove of draft lyrics for this song.
Indeed we have, yes.
And people at home, you must hear some of the stuff Rick left out. So patronizing.
Yes.
I found some lyrics, and Dave, I believe you found some more lyrics, yes?
Well, indeed. And I was going to say that the usual answer to the question, who's going to drive you home tonight, is usually your dad. I've learnt this from experience.
Right.
So from this cornucopia of additional lyrics, I've picked out some that more closely fit with the theme of parenting.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's wholesome.
At all stages of the life of your offspring. And I have to say, I can identify quite strongly with some of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I might put down a bit of a background music to this so that, we can really get in the mood here and,
okay.
Imagine what Rick was thinking when he wrote these.
All right, we'll start with this one. Who's gonna read to you before you sleep? And who's gonna explain the swear words that they bleep?
Oh.
That's often the job of the parent.
Hang on, if you're reading, is there bleeping in books?
Well, look, I guess this might be why some of these lyrics were not included in the song. Sometimes the first part of the couplet does not connect very well with the second part of the couplet.
Yes.
But related on the general theme.
That's true. And actually, I think there's an example of that right here in one I've found. He's got, who's gonna rub your tummy when it aches?
Oh.
And who's gonna calm you down when you dream of snakes? Ah! Cobras!
Ugh.
Yeah, so you see what I mean there, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay, well, yeah, so the next one on my list also, the two halves are not well connected.
Oh, no. Okay.
We've got, who's gonna drive you to work when your license is suspended?
Ooh.
Yeah, and I can identify with that one.
Oh, no, really? You're a good boy.
Yeah. And then who's gonna tidy up when the Lego box is upended?
Oh, nice, yes. Very important because they hurt to tread on.
They're not doing it themselves.
No. And as
Lego hurts when you tread on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's killer. I think that should have been in there.
Yeah.
Especially because, his girlfriend of 21 years younger might have still been playing with a bit of Lego.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Okay, I've got, who's gonna pay attention to your edgy memes?
Ooh.
And who's gonna make a sequel to Electric Dreams? Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, and that's very forward thinking. I don't think many people were aware of memes in 1984.
That's true. He was he was very forward thinking.
Yes.
And then the second one, again, not much connection, but Electric Dreams, that came out the same year as this song, so it would have been on Rick's mind.
Right.
And it was about computers, so maybe that's where he got the inkling that edgy memes would be an important part of the future.
And being a film aimed at younger people, he probably took her to see it.
Yes, almost certainly.
Yes. Okay, my next one is more about rites of passage, I think. Who's gonna buy you beer so you can drink? And who's gonna wash your football socks when they stink?
Oh, yes, being a smelly adolescent.
Yeah.
About to get your first taste of beer. Yes, you can see this arc of emerging adulthood.
Indeed.
So touching, yes.
And I have to say, there's nothing worse than a pair of football socks left in the back of the car for a period of time.
Especially if they're cum socks. But, well, again, an important part of growing up. And
indeed.
I'm sure Rick would have touched on that eventually. So what else have I got here? Who's gonna say Gesundheit when you sneeze?
Nice.
And who's gonna explain which peoples are the Indo-Chinese? Tricky.
So like helping her with her geography homework.
Well, yes, perhaps so. It's a tricky one. I had to look it up. It's a bunch of Asian countries that form a sort of southern peninsula beneath China. Those ones are the Indo-Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, But, nothing to worry about. You can always look it up. It's fine.
Fair enough. All right. Back to the domestic.
Yep.
So Rick touches on the difficulties in expanding your child's diet.
Oh, yeah.
Who's gonna make you eat vegetable stew?
Ooh, yeah.
Who's gonna wipe your bum when you poo?
Oh, he's regressed. or is that after?
Well, no, it's the general theme. Apparently, he's not bound by the strictures of linear storytelling.
Right. He's flashing forward and backward.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, when I had to wipe your ass and it looks kind of like this vegetable stew we're trying to get you to eat now.
Well, they are related. That's probably where the two things connect.
Nice. I see Rick has scribbled a note here that it's been raining in the garden all day. Then he's got, who's gonna dry your gnome tonight? That's a bit ridiculous. I mean, ceramic garden gnome, that's fine to dry on its own, really, unless it's not properly glazed, then maybe towel it down, sure.
That's not some kind of euphemism for something, isn't it?
Drying your gnome.
Drying the gnome. Yes.
Polishing the bishop. Yeah.
Maybe
Who
not.
knows?
Yeah.
He's he's poetic, so he's probably going for a bit of double meanings and metaphors.
Yeah. I've got one.
Yes. I want to see, how this kid grows up. What sort of a young man is he becoming?
Yeah. Well, he's growing up and getting younger as things progress. We've got who's gonna get your ball when it's gone over the fence?
Oh, yes.
And who's gonna explain to you consistent use of tense?
Yep. So very important.
Very important.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I've just got one more here. Who's gonna save your breakfast when avocado's gone brown? And who's gonna remind you about your cousin's kid's preferred pronoun?
Again, quite forward thinking.
Yeah. But that just takes getting used to. I'm sure them/they, they'll just appreciate if you give it a try and you stay respectful.
Sure.
I think that's all. You don't have to worry too much about these things.
Yeah.
So,
let's have a look here. Okay, there's one. I think we'll just finish on one important one here.
Okay.
Who's gonna pretend to be Santa Claus?
Ooh.
And who's gonna tell you to stop scratching, or it'll turn into sores?
Yeah. I don't know if you wouldn't want to ask your child who's going to pretend to be Santa Claus. It's kind of giving the game away there.
I guess.
Come on, Rick.
I guess so. But maybe I think these are rhetorical questions. He's asking them within his own mind,
partially to himself as much as to his son.
Yes.
Anyway, these are the lyrics he rejected ultimately. So
indeed. Yeah.
There's always that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's very good. So revealing, I think, of Rick.
And
we were lucky to find this trove.
Yeah.
As I said, what is a trove? What does a trove look like? It's not like a treasure chest.
No, I think it's bigger than a chest. Yeah.
Smaller than a fridge?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much beer you could store in a trove, so I'm not sure.
Anyway. Yeah.
I guess most people would think that all of these questions are asked of the same person and they're all related.
Yeah.
I went through and I kind of thought of it a bit more like an exam. A series of questions on a broad topic, each with their own separate answer, but sometimes these questions might be related.
No multiple choice, sadly.
No multiple choice, no. But so I went through and tried to find the most appropriate answer for each question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't use ChatGPT to give you an answer, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay.
This is all my own work. So who's going to tell you when it's too late? Now, on regional TV stations in country areas of Australia, there's a character called Big Dog.
Oh, really? That comes on at the very end of station programming?
He comes on at about 7:30 each night, and his job is to make sure all the boys and girls go to bed so the parents can watch all the raunchy adult programming that's on offer after 7:30.
Right.
Yeah. So Big Dog comes on, he waves to the boys and girls from his little wooden house, gets into bed, and the voiceover wishes Big Dog and the girls and boys a good night and sweet dreams.
Wow. So, and you're like in a semi-regional sort of area. Is that offensive to say? I don't.
No. That's in no way an insult.
Is it appropriate? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I identify as being from a regional area. That's
okay.
fine.
And do you get this dog cartoon happening?
Big Dog comes on. Yes.
Wow.
Yep. I think it's on NBN.
Okay.
Yeah. So Big Dog's human mother turns out his light and he settles into bed.
Big Dog's human mother.
Yeah.
He's glossing over that, are you? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm just describing what happens. He gets into bed and then he spends the rest of the night staring into the darkness through his dead, lidless eyes that are unable to close.
Oh, God.
It's quite haunting.
Well,
so
yeah.
The answer to the first question is Big Dog.
Big Dog.
Big Dog tells you when it's too late and you need to go to bed.
Check.
Yep.
Tick. Big tick on that one.
Okay. Who's going to tell you when things aren't so great? There's two possible answers to this. Firstly, a person who tells you things aren't so great is a customer who comes in to complain in a clothing store about the quality of the stitching. And trigger warning, generic comedy foreign accent incoming.
Okay.
Yeah. These shirts are falling apart because these things aren't so great.
Oh.
As in the stitching's not very good.
Right.
See? They aren't so great.
Is this like a personal experience you've had? It seems very raw.
No, that's just quality humor.
That's right. That's just your amazing acting ability.
Thank
you were
you.
so versatile.
Thank you. Oh, I can. Yeah, I have no idea.
All right. So that's who's going to tell you things aren't so great. It's going to be an unhappy customer.
An unhappy customer, yes.
About stitching, yes.
About stitching, yes.
Who can't swear properly because of they're new to the country and think that things aren't so great is the best way to hammer that point home.
Yeah. Well, he's talking about the sewing. See, the thing that they're not so great.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, see.
Oh.
See, there were more layers to that than you thought.
Yeah. It works on many levels.
I think you were astounded by my accent work and didn't understand.
Yeah,
sorry.
and the ferocity with which you delivered it. Yes.
Well, there you go. Answer 2 is pretty much anyone with an interest in climate science, environmentalism, preservation of endangered species, international relations, or politics will tell you things aren't so great.
Oh, okay, that's an optional answer for bonus points.
Yeah, that's the second answer. Yeah.
They do sort of give that impression. Greta would tell you things aren't so great.
Yeah. As I mentioned before, the answer to who's going to drive you home tonight is probably your dad.
True.
Yep. Who's going to pick you up when you fall? Again, possibly your dad.
Yeah.
Because small children fall over a lot.
Yeah, dad's better at picking up bigger weights.
Yeah.
I've got upper body strength.
Yeah, exactly. Now, who's going to hang it up when you call? I think this is a question that's very much of its time.
Oh, yeah.
When every house had one landline telephone with a wired connection and the receiver is connected by a wire to the whatever the body of the phone's called.
The base?
The base, sure.
Yeah, okay.
So, again, possibly your dad, if you've made a phone call and you just can't be bothered hanging up and you just leave the handset lying around, it's probably your dad. He's going to then complain about it for days.
I've got another take on this, actually. Often back in them days, before mobile phones, you used to be, say, at the train station, ready for your dad to come pick you up.
Yes.
But you didn't want to spend costly silver change on a phone call. So you'd be able to...
You do the 3 rings.
Yeah. And if long as your dad
of course.
Didn't pick up, or I guess that's a way of hanging up by not answering it at all, then they would know that it's you.
Yes, that's true.
Because you would hang up and it would stop ringing, and then they would know to come and pick you up.
Yeah, where you probably pick up the phone and go, "Oh no, I wasn't supposed to pick it up," and slam it straight down.
Yes, because as long as he didn't pick it up, you'd be able to hit the receiver and have your money come back out of the phone.
Yeah,
I think that's how it worked, as I recall.
And well, look, these were in the days before caller ID, so you didn't know if it was your child or something important.
True.
Okay, who's going to pay attention to your dreams? Now, 2 answers to this question again. Answer 1.
Freud?
Freddy Krueger.
Oh.
Freddy Krueger.
I was close. Freddy Krueger. He's going to interpret your dreams and then kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's answer 1.
Yes.
Answer 2, Matthew Wilder. He will pay attention to your dreams, but when you start telling him about it, he'll tell you that his dream's a stranger.
That's right, yes. Last night he had the strangest dream. Yes.
Yep.
Sailing away to China in a rowboat.
Yep.
That was the strange bit, yes. That's still fresh in our memories for people who are listening to these episodes consecutively, which I don't recommend you do, but, maybe you're a completist and you want to see if there are any sort of overarching sort of plot lines that make sense if you listen to these episodes in order, then you'll be disappointed, but you might do that.
I don't know. I recommend keeping a spreadsheet of these things.
Right. Okay. And noting down some of the important themes?
Or? Yeah. Perhaps a searchable database.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. For the completist. Amongst you? Yes.
Yeah. Who's going to plug their ears when you scream? Again, if we're going back on the theme of parenting, small children, especially girls, seem to be able to generate a scream at exactly the most annoying high frequency possible. Therefore, pretty much everybody in the vicinity would like to plug their ears when you scream, although they may not have any earplugs.
Or plug their child's throat when they scream.
Yes, who wants to plug you when you scream?
Yeah, I think shooting people used to be called, you've been plugged.
Plugging, yes, indeed.
I think maybe in like 1930s black and white movies.
Yeah, and then you're going to swim with the fishes.
I'm going to plug you, see?
Yeah.
But I'm a wise guy, see? Yeah, I'm a tough guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to plug you. Sorry, go on.
No, that's extraordinary.
Thank you. You were transported then.
I was.
Yeah.
Didn't know where I was.
Who's going to hold you down when you shake?
Yeah, and that goes along with who's going to come around when you break.
Oh, good.
This is a personal story. And I'm not really sure at this point whether he's even talking to a human being. He may be talking to a domestic appliance. You may remember many years ago when I flooded the house that I shared with our mutual friend Sean when I put on my washing and went out for a couple of hours.
And did it shake the exhaust hose?
Shook, exactly.
Right, out of the...
It shook the exhaust hose from the drain hole thing.
Even though those things have got like hooked sort of structure to them so they overhang into the thing properly and don't come loose.
Shook so much it moved, So had there been someone there to hold it down when it shook, I believe that disaster could have been averted.
Yes. Yeah. And that neighbour of yours who lost all of his important photographs to the damp.
Let's not bring that up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
So who's going to come around when you break?
Yes.
The repair technician, of course.
Yes. Well, that makes perfect sense. I mean,
yes,
it won't be in time to save the photographs of the poor neighbour next door. Oh, sorry, I brought that up again. Oh,
jeez.
That poor guy. I mean, never mind. It was an important growth experience for him.
Yes.
Even at his advanced age.
He needed to let go of that stuff. He was living in the past.
Oh, he's poor dead. Oh, never mind.
I don't think anyone was dead. Was somebody dead?
I mean, in the photographs, often have photos of dead people.
No, I think there were photographs of his children that he doesn't see. Anyway, let's move on.
That's so sad. And all because there was no one there to hold the machine down when it shook.
Yeah, that's a lesson to us all.
Oh, dear. Are there any more questions in this?
That's the end of the questions. Pencils down.
And just the repetition of who's going to drive you home tonight, which you've already answered.
Yep. Still your dad.
Good old dads.
Yep.
Always up for a drive at any inconvenient hour.
Exactly.
Particularly if you've been playing Samantha Fox strip poker way too late.
Well, see, that wasn't it. That was a stepdad. That was a very, very tolerant stepdad.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
dads of a feather.
Yeah.
Be they step or
Yeah.
biological.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dads are dads.
Yeah.
And Samantha Fox is Samantha Fox and will always be.
Indeed. Well, perhaps that's what Rick wanted to get home from the party to do, play a bit more Samantha Fox strip poker.
Oh, well, again, about the same time, yeah.
Yeah,
Whew.
exactly.
Did you have any thoughts on the music video? I don't really have much to say about it.
Oh, well...
I can tell you that it's directed by Timothy Hutton, who was perhaps one of the youngest ever. In fact, I think he was at the time, the youngest Oscar winner in a supporting actor role for his acting of the suicidal boy in Ordinary People with Barbara Streisand. No, not Barbara Streisand. Mary Tyler Moore and Donald Sutherland. No, Robert Redford. No, Robert Redford directed it.
Oh.
Who else was it?
I don't know.
Maybe Donald Sutherland.
It would have been around this time, a little bit later. He was in The Falcon and the Snowman,
Oh, yes.
I believe. Yes.
With
Sean Penn, I
Sean
think.
Penn. That's right.
Yes.
Yep. And there was a really good movie called, was it Caveman or Iceman? A science fiction thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was like a scientist and they found an ape person in ice and managed to revive him.
Oh, I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was really good. But
well, so he got this job because he was a neighbour of the car's manager.
yeah, and everyone was suddenly making music videos apparently because of MTV.
Yeah. Because yeah.
Yeah.
The main thing I took away from this music video was that it's a masterclass in look at me, I'm mentally ill acting.
Well, you know what? I think I know what Rick Okasek took away from this.
Well, yes. Yeah. So we had her doing some mentally ill acting by drawing on a wall while sitting facing away from it.
Not using her own excrement to draw?
Not clear, but I don't think so, unless she'd fashioned a quite sharp pencil out of it.
No, probably not.
She did some quite good I'm sad acting.
And some
where she was in
some hysterical laughing acting as well.
That's later in the music video. Yeah, so she did some I'm sad acting. She was in bed looking sort of wistful and twirling her hair.
Nice.
And then yes, she did the definitely look how mentally unstable I am acting, where she alternates between the crying and the hysterical laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very moody, but also quite dull.
Yeah, and for some reason the band were replaced by shop dummies.
Yep.
Slightly insultingly to 3 members of the band, because it's only Rick and Benjamin who actually appear in the video as humans. The rest of them just appear as shop dummies.
Yeah, and to be honest, Rick emotes so very little he could have been a dummy.
Well, that's true. That is true. Yeah. And a little bit more laying on the mood disorder imagery right at the end, where there's the shop dummy band playing on stage and the camera pans past a sign that says happy hour.
Oh,
and then
poignant.
Pans to her on the outside staring in.
Yeah.
Before turning sadly away. She's locked out of happy hour. So very subtle imagery there.
Sad all round.
Yeah. The other thing from the music video was a very small bit, which when she's doing the I'm sad acting and the camera pans right in the top right-hand corner of the screen, there's a kind of a creepy mask creature.
Oh.
That just sort of turns its head like it's haunting her in some way.
You sure it's not just a boom that's in shot or something?
Well, it had a face.
Okay. And they weren't recording any audio for this anyway.
No. Well, there's also a silent argument that happens between Rick and the girl. And I tried to find what they were saying, but I couldn't.
Oh, I think I did come across someone who'd lip read what they were saying.
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't seem to be anything of great interest. It was...
Oh, okay.
They didn't put a lot of effort into writing whatever that was.
Right. Yeah.
Because I didn't even write it down.
Yeah, that generates interest in a music video, like that the Radiohead video where somebody is whispering something into people's ears and nobody knows what it is.
Oh.
I think it's for the song Just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or at the end of Lost in Translation, where Scarlett Johansson whispers something into the ear of Bill Murray in the last shot,
yes.
and we never know what that was, but they just smile and walk away, and we're just left to imagine that was something very special.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So anything else in the music video?
No, that's about it, really.
Nah. Yeah, it needed more plasticine animations or something. Like
I would
Sledgehammer.
I would describe it as simultaneously cheap and pretentious.
Yes, almost like it's been directed by a young actor.
Yes, who's never directed anything before and just happened to be the neighbour of the band's manager.
Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like reality.
Yeah.
Theories from the internet.
At songfacts.com, Paul from Indiana writes, "This song is about manic depression, aka bipolar disorder.
Yes.
When you are released from the hospital, they require someone to drive you home," in inverted commas.
Of course. Yes.
During the manic portion of the breakdown, the sufferer believes everything is great and that nothing's wrong. And then, who's going to hold you down when you shake? Who's going to come around when you break? It's about a nervous breakdown.
Yeah. There were quite a lot of theories on the internet to do with mental illness or addiction.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of people seem to be quite eager to share their personal tragic stories about...
Yes. Like Linster71 from Canada, who said
yes.
she hears this song and thinks of her 15-year-old daughter with ADHD.
There you go, yeah.
The falling, the screaming, the shaking, the breaking, the hanging up, it's all there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. User Stephanie from a town called Surprise
Yes.
in Arizona. Now, she
Surprise.
kind of had, yes, a similar take to you, which was nice and wholesome. I never thought this song was about lovers or romance. I always thought it was about a good parental relationship.
Indeed.
I think it makes the most sense that a parent pays attention to their child's dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe who's going to drive you home after the sleepover, that sort of thing, yes.
Yeah.
It seems legit that they want the best for their child, and this is very endearing, smiley face.
Yeah.
Nice.
In contrast, Justin from Brisbane, Australia writes, "Somebody told me the lyrics have nothing to do with the video. They were written by a guy who had an argument with his girlfriend in a bar one night and she ran off out of the bar, started walking home, and someone gave her a lift. That was the last he ever seen her alive. Her body was found. She was murdered. He felt to blame, knowing it would never have happened if they had not had a fight. They felt that making a video of a girl being picked up, etc., would bring bad memories to many out there with similar situations, so opted for this to look like something else."
Yeah, it's very dark. I did note that one.
Yes. So dark he could not bear to use capitals or full stops.
Yes, and I did also note that was the last he ever seen her alive.
Yep.
Lovely Australian grammar there, yeah. And a similar dark story. Ian from Wellington, New Zealand, insists it's about a girl Rick met at a party. He insisted he offer her a ride home as she was about to leave with a guy who had been drinking and would be driving. But she went with the other guy and had a serious accident on the way home.
Oh my goodness.
Where she ended up in a wheelchair.
Wow.
Rick was really upset about it, wrote the song and got another member of the band to sing it because he found it really hard.
Ah.
Oh. So that's
yeah.
Where do these stories come from?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what's true?
Here's one that starts sad but ends happy. This is from Courtney in Salt Lake City, Utah. This song reminds me of a person who is, in my opinion, my soulmate. He's getting married in a month and it absolutely crushed me.
Oh, God.
It's my fault, though, and I put myself in that bind, but I wish I still had in my life to take care of him and drive him home.
Oh.
By the way, this song totally reminds me of Transformers now. You all remember that scene with the beat-up 76 Camaro? Sweet!
I think I saw mention of it, that it was in a Transformers movie amongst...
Yeah, it's where the guy, is it Sam, picks up.
I haven't seen that. Come on.
No, but look, I'm aware of Transformers mainly through
being a parent again.
Being a parent, yes.
Okay.
The bloke who's the main character, I think he buys Bumblebee from a car yard.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, and that song's playing on the radio.
Shia LaBeouf is the main character, isn't he?
Yes.
Marie from Chicago reckons this is about two people broken up by the woman's drinking, and months later her ex-boyfriend, who used to make sure she got home every night but was unsuccessful in getting her to confront her drinking problem, he sees her while he's out one night and she's in a worse state than ever, and it makes him wonder who would be driving her home tonight. And Tom from Peoria, Illinois, also thinks it's about leaving a girl who's an addict and Rick has not been able to help her stop, so he just has to leave. Yeah. Quite a few like that. Yeah.
In contrast, XL5 Ron really just wants to brag.
Nice.
I sung this song to my girlfriend. We made love all night long. Unconditional love, unappreciated love. Call it what you will. Ooh. It's a great song.
All right.
Yeah.
He really drove it home.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. I'll try and redress my tonal balance there by sharing Jesse from Seattle, who writes, and he likes to use capital letters, so I'll try and get the emphasis right here. I heard it as a love song to the self. I realized the song is saying I'm all I really have to depend on to either get through any situation or make any changes in my life. I am the only one that can or will do it. Others may support/help us, but no one can change your situation except yourself.
Yay.
Who's going to drive you home? You. Thanks, Jesse. He's a real pick yourself up by your bootstraps kind of guy.
Yeah. Good on you. And random capitalization is so important.
Yes. Yeah.
I had to search through 8 pages on songmeanings.com, but I finally found one that was about God.
Oh. Oh, it's not by Brian Pratt, is it?
It's by J.D. Rudy or J. Drudy. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And they've somehow worked out how in this comments page you can write in massive capitals. The real truth of this song, much more meaningful than you think. This is a song from God, and its meaning is simple, unlike the narrow meanings I have seen. It's sung towards hopelessly lost individuals in general by godly people who love them.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's going to tell you when it's too late equals who's going to care enough to tell you that you're in danger of losing your salvation.
Okay.
Who's going to tell you things aren't so great equals who's going to care enough to tell you that despite what you think, this world, property, and the way you're living is anything but great. Yeah, wake up, sheeple. You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. Wake up. Stop being ignorant about God and subscribing to moral relativity.
Oh.
I had to look up what that was.
Did Einstein have a theory on moral relativity?
Well, I think they probably meant moral relativism.
E equals MC be good. Yes.
Yes. I think they actually meant moral relativism, which is the idea that there are no absolute rules to determine whether something is right or wrong.
Well, I mean, it's great that we've got a religious one because that's, I think we've completed our internet theory bingo.
Indeed.
We've got drugs, we've got mental illness, we've got God. Yeah. And similarly, over on Quora, I found Brian Pratt. He offers the meaning as realizing that God was the only one who was going to drive you home tonight. Not friends, not family, nobody else was there but him. Thanks, Brian Pratt.
Yeah, thanks, Brian Pratt. Yeah, just to tick one more box in the
bingo,
internet theories bingo, there's one actually written by AI from a website.
Yeah, there is an AI website I mentioned in a previous episode.
Yeah, lyricalinsights.io.
That's it.
Yeah. It says the song Drive by the Cars is a timeless classic that has captured the hearts of many with its catchy melody and thought-provoking lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. The song's narrative revolves around the scheme of escapism, where the protagonist seeks solace in driving away from his troubles.
Oh.
The lyrics are a poignant reflection on the human desire to flee from problems and find temporary relief through the act of driving. And then it quotes some of the lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah. And here are some of the lyrics. You can't drive it down. You can't drive it out. You've got to live with that shame. sings lead vocalist Rick Ocasek, highlighting the futility of trying to escape one's emotions.
Why does AI always insist on inventing rubbish?
Yeah, I searched for those lyrics. They don't seem to exist in any song.
In any song, yeah. But I think the last one I've got, Double Cure from Saigon says, did everybody not see Rick's vivid recollection of this song on YouTube? And no, I couldn't find it and haven't seen it, but he continues, I also lived in Boston in the 70s and 80s and clearly remember Last Call at all the local bars. Mm-hmm. The song is about the last call girls in bars. Rick's song is based on empathy for them. Last call girls, not last call girls being escorts or sex workers, but sort of girls of the last call time of the evening in a bar who I guess haven't found a partner or...
Oh, I see. They're waiting around to go home with the sad men who are there till closing time.
Yeah, like Rick is apparently still there to empathise with them. Yeah. Hopefully Rick took them home.
It's notable but trivial. It's trivial but still notable. It's notable trivial.
My memories of this song are inextricably tied as being the backing music for every kind of charity commercial on daytime TV, usually SBS here in Sydney. I remember hearing this music while they showed images of black bears being kept in chains in somewhere like Eastern Europe.
Ah, yes.
And other animals perhaps caught up in poaching and cruelty and animal trade in poor countries.
Yeah.
But, of course, it all started in 1985, a year after it was written and released. The song was played as backing to images of the Ethiopian famine. This was at the various Live Aid concerts. Yeah. Who's going to tell you things aren't so great? I don't think the Ethiopians needed anyone to tell them things aren't so great. They probably would have been sharply aware. But there you go. It had a nice, sad music.
Yeah. Nobody really stopped to look at the lyrics to see whether a song about somebody spiraling into an abyss of self-destructive behaviour was appropriate for a video about famine. But, yeah. Oh,
that actually reminds me. I think I did miss, there was another theory from the internet. Colin in England, he thinks the video shown at the Band Aid concert is the music video. He says...
Well, he's a twit.
He says, I don't give a tinker's cuss about drugs and all. I watched in stunned silence the video when the line, who's going to listen to your screams, showed a starving baby screaming. I defy anyone to turn away from that. Who's going to drive you home tonight is a stab at Western values where we enjoy heating, lighting and sheltered transfers between home and work.
Cars.
Yeah, sheltered transfers. It's
another word for car.
I guess so. By the band, the sheltered transfers.
Yes.
So we're all caught up in our little problems of getting home after a big night out, first world problems, while we also plug our ears to the screams of starving babies elsewhere in the world. And he goes on, and it really stabbed home at me. I have never been able to suffer whinges ever since. Yeah, don't ever whinge at me, those bloody screaming babies. All right. Yeah, so, Live Aid, that was a big thing. And
it was indeed.
And well done, the showing of that film and the music behind it really helped the song get popular again, and they sold a bunch of singles, and they raised 160,000 pounds for the charity, which was nice of Rick Ocasek to hand over a big check. Nice.
A bit over 10 years after that, it was one of the songs that radio stations would no longer play after the death of Princess Diana.
Yes, that was my other point.
Yes. Other songs included Airbag by Radiohead and Anything by the Crash Test Dummies.
Yes, of course. Yes. People hear the song by the Crash Test Dummies and they just immediately
it's very triggering.
Hang on, who sings that? Oh, it's the Crash Test Dummies. That's just wrong. Yeah. I mean, if they just didn't back announce who the song was by, then they could have just avoided it that way. But okay,
yeah,
sure.
Wizard critics.
What?
Whispered limericks.
Sorry?
Lizard clerics. Misheard lyrics.
Misheard lyrics.
As reported at kissthisguy.com and amiright.com, except I couldn't see anything at kissthisguy.com. So
Yeah, no.
these are all just amiright.com.
Can I add one of my own?
Oh, yeah.
Is that allowable?
Absolutely.
Because I always thought that the line in it about plugging your ears was who's going to plug your ears when you scream.
Oh.
Which on the surface doesn't make sense, but it kind of does, because it's like he's asking who's going to protect you from the consequences of your own self-destructive actions, right?
Oh.
She might be screaming, but she doesn't have to listen to herself do it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting, but wrong.
I'm not entirely convinced by the logic there, but
Okay.
yeah, you did say it was a bit dodgy. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, you can't. If you heard it, you heard it.
Yeah.
I also thought, well, we're going to get into this right now, because dear God,
Let's get into it.
the controversy that's all over two tiny words that are mumbled in the chorus.
Ah, yes.
Just after you can't go on thinking nothing's wrong, and before
Popeye.
who's gonna drive you home. It's this. And now I'll play it again with a little bit of extra context of the words around it.
Nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you?
Admittedly, it's hard to make out. In a misheard lyric of my own, I thought it was just whoa or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I never really thought it was words. Yeah.
But thankfully, we now live in a world where plenty of websites will list published lyrics for any song, except they all seem to be different on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some sites omit the mumbled words altogether, and others are just backing different answers. And so we have people furiously arguing online about what these two words are. Various people are hearing oh or whoa, well, oh boy, oh no, for now, but I, but by, poor guy, poor thing, pork pie, Popeye. And, you know, maybe the last couple were a bit of a joke, although pork pie does actually match quite well. Once you've read pork pie and you actually listen to it, you think, yeah, it could be pork pie.
That one crops up quite a lot on amiright.com, and also comedian Peter Kay does a routine about misheard lyrics where he demonstrates that it's pork pie.
Yeah. I did see that. It's very visual. Otherwise, I'd include it here. But it does fit rather well. But as we know from Rick's own acoustic version of this song, sung by Rick himself, he doesn't sing any words at all at that point. So it probably never should have been there in the original. It was just some filler words by Benjamin or some other guy.
Yeah.
Apart from that big palaver, who's going to pay attention to your dreams? This was heard as, who's going to pay attention to your tree?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a tree, yeah, people don't realize when they look at trees, sometimes that tree's been planted and you think nothing of who might have planted it, or if it was planted at all. But yeah, that's something to consider next time you look at a tree.
And sometimes a tree just needs some care.
Yeah, well, attention, care, sure, same sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Who's going to pay attention to your dreams was also heard as, who's going to pay a taxi to your dreams?
Sure.
Which sort of works okay, as in, who's going to pay for the means to get you to your dream?
Oh, I see.
And if you don't know who's going to drive you home after the dream, then probably, a taxi is a good option both ways. But someone does have to pay for it, sure. Unless you're traveling over water, in which case, don't pay the ferryman until he gets you to the other side.
Yeah, don't even fix a price.
No, that's right. Thank you, Krista Berg. Anything else on Drive, Dave?
I think we're pretty much done.
Well, we can't go on thinking this episode's not too long. It's time to drive you home now with the usual reminders to subscribe, add a review on Apple, support the show with a paid subscription, and this episode is sponsored by Jenny. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks, Jenny.
Yeah. And you can record a message to us at speakpipe.com/lyrics to add your own thoughts to a future episode. And until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Lyrics of the Lost.